Good morning, collective. This is your general reading this morning. I'm going to do the energies of, the overall energies, I should say, a little different. So if you are, when we do the reading, if you are dealing with someone that is a water sign, this card will be for them. Spirit for the water signs of those counterparts. Okay. And if you are dealing with a earth sign, this will be for them. This will be their energy. If you're dealing with an earth sign. Ooh, the wolf. If you're dealing with air, this will be theirs today. The counterparts air energy. Counterparts of air energy. Of course, we're not counting, I mean, this will be like the sun or moon rising. Energy. Alright, take that one. That for the air. That's like the death card. And for the fire, it's not. Okay. It's going to keep going, but Spirit said there it is. Put that there. Put this one there. Alright. These. Alright. So, and I didn't pull one for ourselves, did we? So now I'm going to combine them. That's who we're dealing with. This will be for the collective. And the overall energy for the collective, excluding myself. Okay. Got 3. Don't know why. Other than, okay. How funny is that? Well, one word and we would have all the elements. So we have an earth sign. We have a water sign, and we have an air sign, fire sign, my bad. Okay? So this is our energies as a collective, not mine, because I exclude my own energy. And that's who we're dealing with. Alright? So for those that are in these, there's 3 different groups. Like some are or some are. So pick your card. So this is, the camel is calm, content, resourceful. They know themselves, oneself. They know what they need, and they know how to go within and heal themselves. It's like the camel stores only just the exact amount of water they need to get from this side of the desert to this side of the desert. And that's what they store from point A until they can get water again. And they carry just that amount. They don't carry extra baggage with them. They take what they need. But they also rest when they need to. They're very intuitive and go deep within. And this looks like a lot of emotions that the moonlight has illuminated a lot of emotional things needing healing. So they've rested and gone within and brought those things up to the surface and healed and released them, let them go so that they can continue on their journey in a healthy manner. Good job. That's an excellent energy. Feels very calm as well. Okay. Then we have those that are the shark. Okay. This is not an energy you want to ignore, because when the shark shows up in your reading, it means there's something large that needs to be dealt with, something big from the depths of your soul, or something big in your environment that needs to be handled. Desire, mysteries, they're very direct, they delve into the truth. Maybe not so much their own truth, but they delve into your truth type thing, or the other person's truth. They're very much in their emotions. They take a bite out of it and gnaw on it for quite a while type thing. They go deep into the depths of the water, right down deep to get their nourishment. So this is a large emotional thing that's down in the depth of your soul that needs to be brought to the surface to heal, to be released to the ethers. Like ask Spirit to bring it up and disintegrate it into the ethers. So I can set that in there. And then we have the Earth and the Fox, and he's so cute. I'd be a fox. Very wise teacher. They're magical. They're also monogamous. Foxes are monogamous creatures. They choose a partner for life. Kind of like cardinals. Cardinals choose one partner for life. This person is working on their solar plexus chakra and possibly need to work on their sacral chakra, although a fox is, very magical, mystical almost. I'm not getting the sly fox energy with this card. This is more very magical, monogamous, being dedicated to their journey, to their counterpart, very wise and teacher energy. So with this card today, I'm feeling that they're very grounded and focused. You can see their eyes here, almost like human. They're very focused on their prey, what they're looking to accomplish. Very wise. I keep getting very wise, looking at it from a very wise perspective as well. Alright, let's get to the good. Spilling some tea. Spilling some tea. So give us true and precise messages for the Divine Feminines and the Divine Masculines on their journey, please, so that they can see ahead of them what they need to handle and how they're doing at a spiritual or soul level. Oh, I didn't even finish their counterparts, did I? My bad. So, Spirit just reminded me that I still should read theirs. Since this one caught my eye right off the bat, I'm going to start with the hyena. The hyena, sometimes people think it's red, kind of like this is sometimes read as a sly fox. And hyena sometimes can give the perception, people might think that it's a very sly, sneaky energy. But today I'm not getting that at all. It's like they're a jokester. They want to entertain people. They're being silly. It's not necessarily illuminating their shadow side, but that they're able to go from the dark to the light without any problems. That they use their sarcasm and wit, their humor sometimes, and sometimes they may use that to mask pain or heartache. So perhaps they laugh at things that shouldn't be laughed at, or they will kind of find humor and sarcasm to cover up their heartache. And this is something, usually the sarcasm with to mask pain does need to be healed, so be aware of that. Okay, and the beautiful wolf energy is always, reminds me of the dog energy. So this is a very loyal, caring, nurturing, coming out of the emotional depths, being enlightened, has his little bit of fire energy to him, with the sacral chakra lit up, very passionate. Again, we have a very solar plexus, gaining that courage, gaining that strength, still working on that perhaps for this person or group. But again, sees the prey, sees their object of the path ahead of them, and they're staying focused on their journey. They are protectors of their cubs, they're protectors of their pack, very much team players. And this one is very passionate right now. I get a lot of sacral energy with this one. And again, just watching, perhaps even to a point of maybe they're watching from a distance. If you're not in communication, they could be per se spying on, spying like in the sense of like your social media, if you have that Instagram page, something like that, looking at your pictures. Or they could be, if you have YouTube, then if you have a YouTube, maybe they're checking out your channel. Anyways, those that are in the octopus energy, very much enlightened, listening to their higher self, delving deep into their emotions, having their hands in many things, trying different things to resolve issues. This octopus also lacks boundaries. They don't like it when someone puts up boundaries. So if this is divine masculine coming across as the octopus and the divine feminine put up their boundaries, this is a masculine that would not do well with those boundaries. They're going to test them for sure. Okay, this is a bit definitely earning for something, always reaching for something more, but they are engaged. They're very intelligent, and they are productive when they put their hands and mind to things. Also, this energy can sometimes be of wanting to be invisible at times when they're down or in their emotions. The octopus is able to, when danger is near, it can make itself go invisible, almost like a clear color. When they're deep in their emotions, this person might wish or feel like they're cloaked or like they were invisible. There's the shark and the bat. So the bat is the death card. This is also about letting go, adapting, accepting as is, adjustments, ending, but also right now I'm feeling this is more about transformation and rebirth. Someone that's come out of the dark, come out of the darkened earthling stage, their zombie stage, as I'm going to refer to, of those that are not awakened are more like zombies. They just go by the matrix, right? They do what their boss tells them to do. They check in 9 to 5. They go home, do what the spouse tells them to do, or etc. They just are followers, the sheeple of the world. But this is a rebirth, coming out of that darkness, seeing the light, transforming, and now they're taking flight, ready to take flight, I see, with a lot of passion for their mission with this red here. And the red, of course, is not only grounded energy, but also the passion of the sacral energy. Now we get, and that's it for the divine feminine, please. All right. Anything else for the feminines? That was fast. Okay, I'm going to have to set some of this aside. So this is to the 48 hours. Wow, this looks a lot like my personal read for myself this morning. So we're all in the same boat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh. Okay, so like the bat having the death card, we're starting off for the divine feminine is a bat death card. This is about that transformation, that rebirth of the soul, the letting go of old things and beginning anew. Removing the masks, removing the falsities, things that no longer serve us. Nurturing ourselves. For some people, they're even changing their eating habits just for the sake of this journey. Looking down into the depths of themselves, really going within from an internal, looking to grow internally out as we shine internally out. So this is definitely people, the group that is doing a lot of work. At a core level. I'm seeing the bones on this deaf person, the chest that's just bare bones, so it reminds in the skulls over here. So really going down to bare bones or the depths, in the depths of this, to look at their cells, to look at the skeletons in the closet, I'm hearing, and pull them out and address them, release them to the ethers, surrender to divine source, great source, to spirit, to also to do study or to look into cutting things out that no longer serve you, but looking into or asking divine for the guidance on the science behind this journey. Perhaps that's regarding the quantum physics of it. Yes, reaching for that new growth, reaching for that rebirth, waiting for it, almost anticipating and looking forward to that new beginning. You know that the old ways don't serve you anymore, that you had to remove the mask. This is a 4, by the way. And in order things to be balanced and stable, those old things need to be shed. The skeletons in the closet need to be removed and addressed so that you can move forward. On that skeleton closet, it's also like cleaning out things that no longer serve us. Also clean out your closets, literally your garage, whatever. Donate them to Goodwill. If you haven't used things in 6 months to a year, it's no longer serving you, move it out so that frees up the space around you for energy to flow freely. This will allow the sun to come in and shine on you. Also, this is reminding you to go in and do that inner child healing as you nurture your inner child and you work on your abundance. The sun will shine. You will be innocent, childlike, but your ships will be drawn to you then for abundance. And also be sure to do the inner child healing for the divine counterpart. Perhaps do the creative using your imagination. Thank you, Spirit. Reminding me I didn't have the mic on. Like using your imagination to visualize, thank you, Spirit, to visualize in the 5D that you are not only nurturing your own inner child, but also the inner child of your divine counterpart, and that they are there with you, so that this helps them heal from that inside out perspective as well. Divine feminines are receiving a tower. Towers coming in to open things up so you can see down into the depths. Where did we get that from earlier? Yeah, okay. So this isn't breaking down at the very core or base of this tower, just the top is falling off, so that things that needed to be released, things need to come up and out of the depths of things, go to the core, reach down into the depths of your soul. When this top falls off, things that were in there can be released, be thrown out, and done away with, released to the ethers. So this reminds me of going deep within to the core or the bone of the matter to release those skeletons in the closet. The things that are trapped inside you need to be released, and death here is also here to ensure that those things, whether even if they're old, well, I won't say old people, let's see, old acquaintances, friends, family, people in your past that try to come back to, they see you shining brightly, they see you're vibrating at a much higher level, and they want to be near you because your energy, almost not an energy vampire to you, but that they want to absorb some of that good vibration, per se. Alright? For some of you, when you release all that, you're going to feel like you're hitting rock bottom, and you're going to be overprotective. For Pentacles, perhaps some people are at that part where we are near Christmas as well, so be careful of your spending, Spirit says. But also because while we are going to be building up our Pentacles, we are going to come into abundance near the end of December, I'm hearing. However, currently you may be short on funds or needing to protect what you do have to stay stable, to keep just balancing out. or some need to balance their checkbook as well for whatever reason Spirit has said. Listening to your intuition on what you need to spend, what you need to save, so that you have that stable foundation to protect your home. Your home is protected, Spirit saying, and it is a stable foundation, meaning the house itself, not necessarily the people in it. So if you're struggling with your house payment or something, or looking to purchase a new home, you will be just be careful on that spending. Don't go over what your budget is. Getting financial advice on tarot. Anything else, Spirit? A lot of what you need is already there. Use what we already have. Utilize and repurpose what you already have. Make every bit count. Make every bit grow. Like the trees in the background. They grow, right? They just keep giving more shade as they grow. Perhaps that's referring to an investment that is going to grow. Okay. King of Swords. So you are in your truth, or you received truth. However it resonates for you. King of Swords, you feel out in the cold. Feel like there's a thorn in your side, perhaps something that you know about that just can't get a hand on, but you get the that intuition feeling that something is, like a thorn in your side of not being right. These gargoyles on each side is like something gnawing at you or pawing at you. Perhaps is also a blockage, I'm hearing, in your growth, enabling you to stand up and speak that truth. You need to release these gargoyles or like the demons that are clinging to you. I'm hearing the demon that clings to you, not in the metaphysical sense, but in the skeleton in the closet sense. Your spirit guides here with you and holding you, so that you have to experience the pain of these things that are down in your depths, so that you will speak the truth, and you don't have to put a bulletin board up saying, hey, I did this 20 years ago. It's just you admitting and being in true with yourself, admitting your responsibility for it, forgiving yourself, and releasing it to the ethers, surrendering it to the divine. Okay, 8 of Cups is looking over things that you've lost, things that you are spilt, and don't cry over spilt milk for whatever reason that came out. Of the shadow side, 8 of Cups. We still have 1 cup here though. So he's also getting clean up the mess from the past. Okay. So you've had many losses in your life and you're stacking them up. You've learned lessons from them and you're appreciative, or you are understanding now from the losses of those situations, those relationships. Maybe you're divorced several times and you've learned something though from each time of those relationships. What was the purpose that person came into our lives? Because people come into our lives for either a reason, a season, or to leave footprints on your soul, so to speak. Some only left you breadcrumbs, but for the recent one, that if you're dealing with a recent loss or recent heartache, Spirit's saying clean up that mess within yourself, clean up the mess between one another, close it out, make sure you're, having a conversation of some sort, even if it's in an email or text message, to give them the closure, to give you closure, to say, and you don't have to say, it's just got to keep it simple but loving. You don't have to be hurtful to close something out. Don't blame the other person. Spirit saying don't blame someone else. Accept responsibility for your own heal it within you. Go within, again, down to the depths, to the core of the situation, why it really hurt you. Perhaps it reminded you of something that happened or a pain from childhood. And again, that goes back to healing your inner child, right? So Spirit's saying, clean up this mess before you pick up this next cup. Before you can revisit this, if this is a cup filled, that someone you've recently filled that cup with love, but you're on a break, you've set it aside because you've realized that this cup over here hasn't been dealt with. You haven't cleaned this mess up yet. So Spirit's saying, clean up the mess before you pick up the next cup. We all carry baggage on with us to the next relationship, but if you're going within and healing yourself as to why, then hopefully there's very little baggage carrying forward to help you cope with that next relationship. And don't compare the next relationship, the next cup. I guess I wasn't done with that card yet. Don't compare this cup to this cup or to these cups. Don't think that just because this one tipped over and was unstable, or only had water when you thought it was wine, don't think that this is going to be the same way. This cup might be stable. This might have in it that unconditional love that you're looking for, and not just be water. Alright, stand up for what you believe in. Take a stand in your belief. Hold true to your connection. This is also about someone that is standing up against others. A lot of people are gossiping. They don't understand this connection. They have the science behind that. They don't even want to hear it or see it. The science of this is, the understanding of this is on their back. They've turned their backs to even trying to understand the situation. They just want something to gossip about, something to come against you about. They want to block you from your success because they see you growing, they see you radiating and glowing. They're just trying to be of low vibration, like the zombies. This is someone that's also telepathically staying in touch or connected to their divine counterpart, also on their mission or seeking their mission. For some, this also could represent someone being a teacher and stepping forward out of their comfort zone to help others learn, which it could also be causing a lot of gossip. This could be family, friends, co-workers, etc. But in the end, this journey, doing the rebirth, the inner child healing the old before you move forward, or cleaning up the mess of the old. And once you get in soul purpose, in mission, this will bring you abundance in all things, your wish fulfillment, 10 of Cups. And remember, your wish fulfillment is of this journey too, is the loving one in union with yourself first before you can fulfill someone else's cup. Okay, for the divine masculines, we have them wanting to move forward on Knight of Wands, the hawk. The hawk is truth, helping you to understand the truth of yourself. So this Knight of Wands, coming in to communicate, perhaps feeling a little defensive, immature, or perhaps you intimidate. Perhaps he's intimidated because of the lack of truth that he's given up to this point. He's trying to come in with strength and courage. He has a lot of red on. A lot of passion, a lot of sacral energy here. There's some orange, so he's trying to tap into that the solar plexus, trying to tap in for the strength and the courage to communicate that truth. He understands that you are still connected, still telepathically connected. But perhaps he's not feeling your energy right now. Perhaps you're one that's recently pulled away. Telepathic communication, your intuition is being used, you're understanding the science of the journey, you're building your pentacles for a stable foundation, and you're taking your time with this connection, the masculine, taking his time with this connection to also to know that it has a stable foundation, that it's not going to tip over and just be water. He wants growth. He wants this to be fulfilling, wish fulfillment, but he also misses you dearly. This is a group of masculines that feel that energy that was pulled away, and they are still thinking. They can't think of anything else. They can't seem to get their mind off of that connection. They're protecting the connection, the flame. They feel that though this Tower moment up here, perhaps they're trying to turn and walk away, trying to leave it behind, which would have caused this Tower moment for the feminines. But they can't. They know that it's a magnetic pull, that it pulls them right back to you. They just can't turn their back, even when they try to leave things behind that no longer serve them. But they're trying to make the decision to turn their back on this connection, but they just can't. That's just all they can think of. And so every now and then they try to walk away, but they get pulled back in, memorized by this flame, by the connection. They're feeling that this is also a court situation. Could be divorce. If some of the masculines need to get divorced, if some of the feminines need to get divorced, this could be a divorce card. It is a court card. It's also the Hierophant. While the masculine is perhaps doing research and realizing that he is the Hierophant of this connection, he is starting to look up or study the connection. Perhaps he's gone online to figure this out, why he can't get her off his mind. And realizing that this was a divine gift that he is being given from Spirit regarding this, but he needs to get his devil energy under control, his perhaps multiple situations, whether it's, those devil energies that are at play with this whip here. He needs to get himself under control. Ten of Pentacles is a closing, an ending of a cycle, starting anew regarding Pentacles. This is the ending of a struggle for the Divine Masculine. He's going to finally be coming into his financial abundance with this cycle. Once he gets rid of some of his devil energy and focuses on his journey, his soul purpose as well, then that blockage that was there, where did I see that blockage? Maybe it's a different reading. The blockage that we mentioned with here, things that had to be opened up and pull those out, right? So he has to do the same so that it can clear the way for new things to come in, and that new things will be in financial abundance, things that are stable as foundation that you can be assured of. Listening, seeing things now with the third eye, and he's planted his seeds and now bringing in that harvest, or starting to see the results of his harvest. Also being loyal, and understands in the back of his mind or in his subconscious perhaps of the way he feels so youthful, and thinks of like the almost a nostalgic way of thinking back as if he knew this person from childhood. Why? Because she's nurturing his inner child in the 5D. So, in a sense, he feels that connection like he knew her before. Most likely you were from past lives, and he doesn't realize it. but he does know that he wants to grow old with you, and he's willing to put the work in. He understands that right now there's a divide between the two of you, but he's working on taking down that barrier, and some of that barrier is this devil energy as well. And when I say devil energy, it could be work, it could be anything. I mean, it could be another party, it could be just something, as much as maybe he's a workaholic. Seven of Cups, or maybe it's the fact that he has too many options to choose. Seven of Cups is about the options, again, same as like the Eight of Cups up here, only he's just focused on what he's lost. Here he hasn't lost them, but they're out there, and he's not quite seeing, perhaps he's not seeing the value yet of the calmness of the water that comes with the Divine Cup, the Divine Feminine. But he is starting to see the science behind this connection and what it means, but still needing to make that choice. That decision has to be made. Spirit's got to come in and pretty much highlight the direction he needs to go. He is focused on his Empress. He knows that you're the Empress. He knows that the Divine Feminine holds the key to his heart, the divine key that's going to bring him that unconditional love, the love and the understanding of who he is beyond any other situationship or partnership could ever bring. The sun is shining on this connection because it's divinely guided. It will bring wish fulfillment. He is listening now to his spirit guides, or trying to listen to his spirit guides, trying to get a handle on his stubbornness and his bad habits. And he does want to fill his, he's working on filling his own cup of love, nurturing himself, going within and loving himself as much as possible. You are mirroring one another. But this for him is also very scary and emotional. He's not sure why he has all these emotions for this person who he perhaps hardly knows. Perhaps he's set on the back, she's set it on the back burner. And so he's confused. As you can see, this poor fish here looks super confused, and this one here looks scared to death. That he feels like it's a tidal wave of emotions coming over him just sporadically, and he doesn't know why. He can't shake the feeling of her, why he can't stop thinking about her, that's all is on his mind day and night. I gotta put that candle out. My smoke detectors keep going off when I burn candles in here lately. Haven't done it for ages, but then just the last couple days in a row. But I think 3 or 4 days in a row now the detectors have gone off when I burn that candle. It might be that specific candle, who knows. Alright, Spirit, give us true and precise messages to clarify these cards that we have here, please. For the Divine Feminine, we have the Death card, and we need clarification for the Collective. The Divine Feminine in this Collective. There's dealing with the Divine Feminine in this Collective, or the Crosswalker. Death card, please, Spirit. Thank you. Okay, so this was the transformation. The Death card was here, and we said it was a rebirth, and it's being confirmed here with recently the Divine Feminines have gone through a transformation of the soul on a soul level, and the rebirth, the death and the rebirth, where Spirit has carried her through this situation, carrying that soul out and giving it a rebirth. You maybe have been seeing birds as synchronicities around you as well. Coming up out of that rebirth is the divine, or Princess of Rocks, Princess of Cups. This is kind of like the Queen of Cups, only not. Almost like the Empress, but not. Very much in her emotions. Calm waters, though. She's very, came out rebirth, willing to be vulnerable with the world, with herself, carrying this as if it's her staff, or maybe her magical wand, even being grounded to the things of earth, realizing that, Spirit says, realizing now that we are all connected, the plants, the crystals, the animals, the humans, the very air, that we are all energy and we are all connected to as one. And the effects of that, the ripple effect of the pebble in the pond, perhaps, realizing everything has an effect on the other. Being very vulnerable as she's nude here, except for the little wrap. But that's because of the rebirth. Now she's a new person, and she doesn't even recognize who she was before. But she does know that it's something to celebrate, that she's never had such a divine connection with Spirit. She's able to dance to the beat of her own drum, embrace her uniqueness, embrace all the things around her in nature as well as in the 5D. And the Sun card comes up for her, as it does here as well. Something to celebrate. The eagle here is representing flying through the storm and coming out with the blessings of the sun. The sun is also the very light that shines from within her, that gives her that glow. Clarify the Sun card. Nurturing the inner child. Nurturing the inner child. And that was the Truth, Ace of Swords, shooting high through the storm clouds, shooting for the stars with truth. Also, when the Ace of Swords comes up right after something, that usually signifies that that spoken was the truth. Okay, let's gonna clarify the Tower. Clarify the Tower here, clarify the Tower. Clarify the Tower, opening things up for this rebirth, surrendering, cleaning out the closets, skeletons from the closet. Clarify. Okay. So she found out about a three-party situation, or was involved in one. There were rocks thrown. This is deceitfulness, gossip behind her back. Also this kind of energy, people not standing up for her that should have, that she thought would be loyal, that should have been there for her, but they were not. So something also stinks about this three-party situation. Very deceitful, but more like a game. Duck, duck, goose, you're it. I don't know why that came. Kind of like that reminds me of the duck, duck, goose, you're it. Like it was really just a game to see what they could do, something along that line. She found out about that situation, though. Realized that someone was wearing multiple masks, the Five of Swords, that they were pretending to be something that they were not. So there's this person here is looking in the reflection here and sees three different people. Sorry. So at work, they're one person or putting on one mask, and home, they're one mask, and another with the guys, they're different masks, pretending to be something that they were not, to give a false image. Hiding over here, being sneaky, conniving, hiding around the corner, hiding something, because they're over here hiding. Alright, so 8 of Cups, 8 of Rocks here. This was the Divine Feminine also in this situation regarding that three-party situation, regarding this masculine or person that was being something that they were not, that she found out about, or that seen the light, Spirit shown her the light to it, was here she's surrounded by all these beautiful dragonflies in her environment, but then there's these 2 moths, where the moths, you know, they eat away at the very fabric of the very core of the fabric. So these moths have ate away at the very core of this connection, the very core of her heart, and she sits here, her heart bleeding basically. This has caused many tears on both sides for the pain that was caused. But now, after this transformation with the Tower, the rebirth, and everything that's happened, she's no longer a zombie, no longer in the dark. She has been transformed like a butterfly, and she's celebrating. This is an ending of being the zombie and the new beginning of her transformed, her rebirth. Clarify the 4 of Pentacles, Spirit. Clarify the 4 of Pentacles for the Divine Feminine. Yes. 4 of Pentacles, now being protective of her, what she has, not only of material-wise, but perhaps of her heart, being protective and guarded, I hear, because using her intuition, though, she realized that that person took a look in the mirror, and he wasn't who he was pretending to be. But she's coming, Temperance is here to balance things out. She's gone through her transformation. She's goes within and heals herself. She's shining brightly. She's flying like the butterfly, and he's now over in the sidelines and afraid to come forward, intimidated perhaps because of her transformation, of her beauty. He just sees her glow so brightly that she's so much transformed, so much that he doesn't think that she will accept his apologies or accept his, even if he tries to fight for this connection, he's not sure that she will accept it. So he's hiding in the side because he was being something he wasn't. His life now is falling chaos. He was wearing multiple masks, even though people around him saw what he was doing, that caused him as well to receive a tower and to fall to that demise. Again, being something he's not, having the strength, but yet here he is being, it's a human trying to be a bear, trying to have strength. That's the Strength card. You can see the human legs and the bear. Alright. Clarify the King of Swords, please. Clarify the King of Swords for Divine Feminine. The King of Swords here for something she's working on. I think that's how I saw it. She's leaving behind things that no longer serve her. 7 of Swords. She's moving on after the battle, after the rebirth. She's realized the enlightenment. She's loving herself. She's come to a point as her High Priestess. In her High Priestess power, sitting in her power, she knows her worth. She knows her powers. She knows that a High Priestess doesn't chase. She's healing herself and moving forward on her own, and then she'll wait for him to come to her. And the Sword spoke her truth. She set her boundaries, I'm hearing. So perhaps some of you set your boundaries. There you go. Can't make it up. High Priestess arrives. Yes. come across is the High Priestess, of course. Good job, ladies. Or feminine or masculines, if you're a man and you awoke first, then you would be considered the chaser or the High Priestess. But moving forward, the High Priestess knows the secrets, knows the lies, but she knows the truth behind the lies, and the reason that they did lie was to protect themselves or because of their shame, because they weren't of the same high vibration. She understands this. She understands the science in this journey was that every time one of these things happened, the three-party situation that was going to occur, that it was for triggering for her to go within and heal herself, and she has. She's gone in and healed her inner child. She's also healed his. Perhaps she's even healing, being a healer of sorts, and healing others with her healing hands, her healing words, her energy, using her intuition, her power of enlightenment as well. This is a very powerful High Priestess here. She recently was, in order to set her boundaries, it was a test. Spirit had something recently occur, or her enlightenment of something when she had her rebirth. It was a matter of Spirit showing her that she needed to either set boundaries or how she was going to move forward. It was a initiation to that High Priestess step, or to her next level, I'm hearing, to that rebirth. In order to gain that next step, she had to go through this initiation where Spirit was giving her the messages on her journey, going within in the dream realm, in the 5D as well as the 3D, so that she could not only see things from a higher perspective, but make the decision of her worth and set those boundaries to the Divine Masculine, so that he would see that she is the star, she is the light to his path. She is the chosen one from the Divine and the Divine connection, and to come against the High Priestess, to come against the Divine, to come against this connection is to come against the Divine himself in Spirit. 8 of Cups, there's a mission that needs to be accomplished, a soul purpose, and they need to be in mission. The Spirit will bring you to rock bottom, to shake it up so that you realize and recognize that mission, that we don't take our own initiative. In this sense, this High Priestess set her boundaries and is able to move forward. 8 of Cups. Clarify the 8 of Cups, please. Okay, that was fast. Some of that was regarding that three-party situation where the masculine or feminine, either one. This is an older person with a beard and mustache, gray hair, bare feet, relaxed, but he thought he could let other people of the opposite spirit. Three-party situation, being entertained by other, using women as entertainment. Thank you, Spirit. The King of Swords. Wants this one first. 4 of Swords was Spirit had to show him the mask he was wearing. Because when the Divine Feminine reached this point, she showed him that she is the star that guides his path. This connection, it could probably cause a tower for him, although it's not showing here. But Spirit is saying that yes, that this again is like an Ebenezer Scrooge moment where he was shown the mask he was wearing. People all around him knew, they were laughing at it, that he thought that he was fooling someone, because they all knew who they were. So he couldn't get that in mind. He couldn't sleep at night once he was shown the masks he was wearing, once he was shown the demise of his self-sabotage efforts of this connection. But now that he's been enlightened with the swords, as a King of Swords, he's shooting for the stars of hope with truth and trying to bridge this gap between him and his Divine Feminine. and he's going to be coming in as a King of Cups, slowly on this turtle, through swimming, getting through all these emotions. It's really a tortoise, but he does have the wand with light. The connection, his heart chakra is open, his throat chakra is open. Again, it's an older person, someone mature, someone experienced it in life, that should have known better, that should have had a better understanding of treating others. This is definitely the devil energy. And this stuff that masks and all those, the three-party situations, Spirit says is what had to be corrected. And if it took everyone seeing it for what it was to wake him up, then that's what it took. Six of Wands. Clarify Six of Wands. What's the Six of Wands about? Six of Wands. Loving oneself to move forward for this new beginning. Spirit also wants you to know that he's giving you many gifts, many blessings, and they're to be shared with others, not just to be given or kept to yourself. By this blessings coming from the sky, they're jeweled within you. You have all the tools you need within you to use, such as, similar to the magician, all the tools you need to manifest what your new beginning, but also the tools of the healing hands, the healing your throat chakra, speaking the truth of love and light to enlighten others. Yes, which is why she's teaching, okay, which is why she's teaching about her journey, because Spirit has shown her by giving her all these blessings, she knows that she's supposed to share this with others, and so she's teaching others. Thank you, Spirit. Clarify Ten of Cups, not that I need to, we know what it's about, but what's anything else for Ten of Cups? I'm going to have to do the masculines on a separate video because we're almost out of time. So catch part 2. This is going to end in like 1 minute. I just looked over there. Ten of Cups. Great white buffalo spirit has come with a message of a gift, the promise of always having everything you need. You are the magician. You have all the tools within you to manifest anything you want. Spirit does remind you, take a good look in the mirror. Make sure that the person in the mirror is who you want to be. And that you are divinely chosen. Alright, I'm going to stop this there, and I'm going to do the masculines on the next video. Because, like I said, it's going to stop any second. Alright?